Welcome to the Syncretism Society Virtual Academy. Today we're going to dive into a little bit more of the Western mysteries and esoteric science and get in on some practices as well as some philosophy from Eliphas Levi, um, Doctrine of and Ritual of High Magic, which is this book here, Doctrine and Ritual of High Magic. High magic is what Manly P. Hall termed the white magician utilizes the elements in himself for the betterment of mankind. Essentially, instead of casting spells or incantations of sorcery to meld the material realm, we're doing the will of the creator, and we are pure using magic or ethereal magnetic, higher ethereal magnetic forces to purify our bodies and our minds. So I'm going to be reading from this couple pages of this book, and I'm going to share my screen really quick. Okay. There is a true and a false science, a divine magic and a magic that is infernal, that is to say misleading and obscure. We will reveal one and unveil the other. We will distinguish the magician from the sorcerer and the adept from the charlatan. The magician disposes of a force which he knows. The sorcerer struggles to abuse that which he is ignorant. The devil, if he can be permitted to use this reviled and vulgar word in a book of science, surrenders himself to the magician, and the sorcerer surrenders himself to the devil. The magician is the sovereign pontiff of nature. The sorcerer is but the desecrator. The sorcerer is to the magician what the superstitious and the fanatic is to the truly religious man. So we have the fanatical religious people and we have truly religious people. We have charlatans and sorcerers, and we have mages and white magicians. Before going further, let us clearly define magic. Magic is the traditional science of the secrets of nature, which comes to us from the mages. By using this science, the adept is invested with a sort of relative omnipotence and can act in a superhuman manner, that is to say, in a manner which is not within the common reach of men. It is in this manner that several famous adepts, such as Hermes Trismegistus, Osiris, Orpheus, Apollonius of Tyana, and others which could be dangerous or inconvenient to name, were adored or invoked after their death as gods. It is in this manner that others, following the flux and reflux of opinion, which makes for the vagaries of success, became the henchmen of hell or dubious adventurers, like the Emperor Julian, Merlin the Enchanter, and the arch-sorcerer as the illustrious and miserable Cornelius Agrippa. To reach the sanctum reneganum, that is to say, the science and the power of the mage, there are four things that are required. That is to say, the science and the power of the mages, these four things are as follows: an intelligence enlightened by study, jnana yoga, so studying, understanding the philosophy of the different traditions, reading the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita, the Holy Bible, the New Testament, the Old Testament, reading up on Eliphas Levi, Ramakrishna, Ramana Maharishi, Manly P. Hall, studying the Gnostic scriptures, Samael Weor, George W. Carey, to understand the holy science from various different aspects, from astrological, anagogical, biochemical, all of the different ways through the study. So that's why the first thing he says to become a mage or a yogi or an adept is to definitely have an intelligence enlightened by study, an audacity which nothing can stop. An audacity nothing can stop. Essentially meaning to have such an intuitional grasp on reality and to know exactly where you're going and to always have every action within yourself all pointing to that pure ideal. And regardless of the situation, you'll never be overcome. A will which nothing can break, and a discretion that nothing can corrupt or intoxicate. Essentially, to have etiquette, ethics, more super ethics above just common morality. Morality is gone with the wind. You know, it changes through the ages, but eternal truth and objective super ethics are rules that are never broken, that things that should never be done. Number one, the golden rule: treat others exactly how you wish to be treated, and also to not be a coward in the face of harm. You know, sometimes you do have to, you know, if you have to defend yourself, you have to defend yourself. Like, not gonna, you have to have a perfect balance between mercy and justice. And nature's forces and God's forces are always working to create this equilibrium within us. The four aspects of mage: to know, to dare, and to keep silent, and to will. Sorry, on the title, I forgot that part. There's four, like the four, like the Sphinx, or the four cardinal directions. You know, to know, Aquarius; to dare, to will, the lion; and to be silent, the mysteries, Scorpio. These are the four verbs of the mage, which are written in the four symbolic forms of the Sphinx. These four verbs can be combined together in four ways and can be explained four times through the others. The Sphinx does not only have a head of a man, he also has the breast of a woman. Can you resist the attraction of woman or man? That is not so, is it? And here you laugh while answering, and you brag about your moral weakness to glorify the vital and material force within you. So be it. I allow you to pay homage to the donkey of Sterne or Apollonius. He's talking about the lower nature. The donkey has its merits. I will not deny that, for it was dedicated to Priapus as the goat was the god of Mendes. But let us leave that for what it is, and know only if he is your master or you are his. Only the person who is his own master can truly possess the pleasure of love, for he has vanquished the love of pleasure. To be able to do and to abstain from doing is to be twice able. Woman shackles you through your desires. Be the master of your desires, and you will shackle the procreatic nature of the feminine, essentially spirit dominating matter. Whenever we hear about spirit or wife or feminine aspect, we're talking about the emotions or the feminine nature of the material realm and how spirit is supposed to be dominant of that. So spirit is Purusha, Prakriti is the force that Purusha is the reflection of Purusha, and these cooperate in a way in which the spirit is more, you know, active, and Prakriti is passive, and then the together is neutral, the holy reconciliation. So nature's made in a very perfect manner. To learn to overcome yourself is thus to learn to live. And the austerities of Stoicism, which are like the self-discipline sages, were not just a vain display of freedom. To give it to the force of nature, to give in to the forces of nature is to follow ordinary communal life. It is to be the slave to second causes. To resist nature and overcome is to create a personal and imperishable life. It is to gain freedom from the vicissitudes of life and death. Any man who is prepared to die rather than deny truth and justice is truly alive, because in his soul he is immortal. So essentially what he's saying is that we have to have an unshakable will. We have to be within ourselves to know ourselves, to never let our discretions be changed or intoxicated, to never let our morals quiver, to know that the all-seeing eye of the creator is within our hearts, and the witness sees everything, even if we think that we're getting away with negative behaviors, or that we're, one-upping someone or slandering someone. The divine witness hears all, sees all, and it's not to make us be fearful, but it's to know that there's a divine presence everywhere. There's a conscious intelligence in creation, and every single day we can be working with this to go through these lessons and understand our true purpose, and to overcome the shackles of the material nature, so that we don't have to be a slave to our desires. We have to learn how to be in the material realm without fully being conquered by the elements. So I wanted to read from a couple of. So similarly, what we do is we have to consecrate the four elements for being: the earth, fire, water, air. Air being the mind, controlling the mind; fire being the will, to have in controlling the impulses, incarnating the holy fire; water being the emotions, relationships; and then finally you have earth, which is the body itself. So you have to consecrate these four elements to be the magician, just like the tarot card, the magician. He's the spirit or the ether, and has the Purusha aspect dominating over the 4 or 5 elements. So we solidify and fix our earth, which is our mind and body, through various disciplines. So like Eliphas Levi says, discipline is a very important thing when it comes to becoming a yogi or a magi, or a seer, so that we can develop a routine, and it doesn't have to be permanent, but to establish some type of discipline in our life. We're working with the planet Saturn and put ourselves to practical use, to make sure that we have some type of labor or some type of benefit to humanity, and that we're taking care of our duties and sacrificing that fruit to the labors of, hey, this is what the universe has assigned to me. I'm going to do it, and just do it because it's for the betterment of everyone. So our body and our mind is the earth that we need to balance, put to good practical use, just like the bull of Taurus. Eliphas Levi goes on to speak. Do you have the body of a Taurus? If you're a man, you need to be like, activate your inner Taurus to be able to plow the fields, to be able to toil the fields, to be able to be strong, to have intelligence like Aquarius, to be able to keep secrets like through Scorpio, to be able to be trusted and to know the mysteries. So these are the, related with the 4 aspects. And Leo, to have an unshakable will, and willpower is directly related to sexual energy. So by retaining and utilizing the sexual currents in appropriate ways, and learning from a master on how to do white tantra, it is important to understand how to do that, so that you can increase your willpower, because that's how you do that. And literally, you can increase your willpower daily through various exercises, such as the Tibetan rites, or a very simple pranayama exercise. So our soul can walk upon the waters of life as long as we balance our emotions. Our emotions and our relationships with one another represent the water element, and our imagination and dreams are receptive in nature, which also representing water, Pisces. And we can balance our water element and calm the waters and triumph through various trials and challenges, by invoking the water elementals, or the spirits of the water kingdom, to assist us in mastering that element of our emotions. So every time we overcome an emotional turmoil within, the Udines or the magical water spirits are there to help us, to give us wisdom, to acknowledge us. And this happens on a subconscious level, but we can become conscious of this. And if we read the Bible, or the Upanishads, I'd recommend going on YouTube and listening to audiobooks of the Upanishads. Simply type in Upanishads, or read the Bible and look for this elements, look for the water, the fire, the earth, the air, and how they come together, and look at it from an esoteric level, the mind, the emotions, the body, and how these kind of crystallize and come about. So what we could do is we could do meditation for up to 30 minutes, sit still, watch our thoughts and impressions without trying to control them. This has been taught by Israel Regardie, renowned Western esoteric scientist, as well as the Saint Swami Vivekananda of the East. So this initiatory practice is unlike others because you don't have to control anything other than just the body movement. Do not move. Set the timer for start for 10 minutes and slowly work up to 30. This should take 1 month. This practice can be found in the book, The 1 Year Manual by Israel Regardie. And it sets you on the path to Malkuth, initiation of understanding the difference between the physical body and the invisible body. So do not control anything. Don't control the breath. Don't control the mind. Simply sit still in either in an armchair, or if you're comfortable with cross-legged meditation, you can do that as well. Think as normal, but do not move. Even a scratch must reset the timer. Start with 10 minutes and then each time go up 2 minutes. Worked for 30 minutes. I will not tell you what you're supposed to get out of this practice other than you need to get a journal and write down notes of what you feel and certain impressions that come about. This practice helps it helps the initiate or the Nephite become acquainted with the different aspects of the entity that you reside in. So the physical body, the mind, the emotions, you're able to find exactly where these all reside. There's a lot of things, insight that can take place by becoming conscious of this and becoming still, making the body still. Don't force it to relax, but just be still. So even if you itch, restart the timer. This will help increase your will and your insight into the human body and Malkuth on the tree of life, which is the bottom Sephiroth. So you'll be learn how to activate the part of you that is not the body, essentially, and become truly immersed in the witness. And the body will want to move and the mind will bring up random thoughts, but whatever happens must be recorded in that magical journal after the timer goes off. So it's important to set a timer on your phone so that you're not worried about how long you've sat there. So first set it for 10 minutes, then the next day 12, then the next 13. Your goal is to do 30 minutes of this practice. So the initiate will realize Malkuth on the tree of life, the physical body, which is the bottom Sephiroth. Malkuth relates to the physical body. The astral plane is Yesod above Malkuth, and we become awake in Malkuth first, and this will bring awareness to Yesod, the astral plane. So this will be our first initiatory practice into esoteric training. I hope that you guys enjoyed this, and I'll be looking forward to seeing you guys next time. Have a good night.